Today we're going to talk about something called concierge medicine, and I'm going to try to demystify it a little for you, answer any questions you have, and try to kind of explain why it came to be and what's beneficial about it. So on a basic level, the definition of it really is that it's a direct relationship between a patient and a physician in which the patient pays an annual fee or a retainer outside of insurance. And in exchange for this, doctors provide enhanced care, and this includes principally a commitment to limit patient loads to ensure that you can get in the same day, the next day, and that there's plenty of time and availability for each patient. So there are a lot of terms that are used to describe concierge care. In our practice, we use the word concierge, but there are other terms like retainer medicine, membership medicine, cash-only practice, direct care. We use the term concierge. It really fits us best. So there's a lot of variations on how the model of care is implemented across the country. Some take insurance, some take Medicare, some don't, it's different. In our practice, we accept Medicare and other insurances in addition to the retainer fee. Other practices are different. It's been around for probably over 20 years, or about 20 years. The first practice opened up in Washington in 1996, and it's growing rapidly. We have at least 8 concierge practices here in the South Bay, and ours was the first. Started by Okay, so why did this happen, or how did this happen? And I think in order to kind of build a base for how this type of practice came to be and why it's so important, I want to go over a few of the things that are important. So I call it the businessification of medicine. And what I mean by this is, you can see in this cartoon, and I have, I'll go over this in a second. Doc, can you see the problem? And the doctor's actually looking at the insurance company, who then's looking at the patient. And so the businessification of medicine really happened with, one, the start of Medicare, but secondly, the insurance company phenomenon, in which every level of care between the patient and the doctor, there's usually some sort of insurance, and the insurance companies are for profit, and their interest is to make a profit. And they do that often by denying care, creating a lot of paperwork, those kinds of things. And in order for physicians to make money, they have to cooperate with the insurance companies, because the insurance companies are so massive that they'll just say, you don't want to accept our denial of care or our not paying for this or that, then fine, don't use us. And then the doctors, so they ended up having to kind of collaborate with them. This became even more prominent in the 90s and has waxed and waned since then, but with the onset of Obamacare has somewhat increased again. But basically what the insurance companies do is they try to provide less care at a lower cost so that they make a profit. And so it's not good for patients, it's not good for doctors. They absolutely hate it, and has ultimately led to a lot of dissatisfaction. Okay, this here is a quote from my partner from a while ago, Dr. Tom Legrillius. So he started Sky Park Preferred Family Care, and basically it's this discount insurance-based hamster wheel is destructive to the doctor morale and patient care and the entire health system, and it really has become a problem. And then I have this down here, so I'm going to have these throughout. There is a, have you guys heard of The Onion? Do you know what that is? So it's a satirical newspaper, and there's actually a satirical medical newspaper. So I have some headlines in here that are meant to be funny but true, which is what satire is. So this one, hospital administrators think high healthcare costs fixed by hiring more hospital administrators. So I bring this up because part of what happened in this movement is that as physicians, we are not trained to be business people in any way, shape, or form. That is not in the curriculum. And so when all this started to come about, physicians were kind of clueless and sort of sealed their own fate by lack of knowledge. So these MBAs would come in with these contracts to negotiate, and doctors would just sign it, and before you know it, the doctor-patient relationship had disintegrated into what was most important for the bottom line for the business of the insurance companies. So that's one of the problems. The next is the increased amount of paperwork or electronic work, whatever you want to consider it. And here's some more of the satirical things I think are funny, but we'll talk about it. So hospital gets rid of patients. Doctors spend 100% of time writing notes. Hospital to employ empathy robots to allow nurses and doctors to chart. Patient bleeds to death, blood bank paperwork completed without errors. So they're jokes, but they're not. I am sure you have all seen it. Your doctor, your nurse walks into the room and then they turn around and they say, they listen to you maybe 30% of the time. The other percent of the time they're checking boxes, they're typing things. And this has led to, again, a breakdown of the patient-doctor relationship where there is something in between them. It's a computer or it's paperwork. And why they're completing this paperwork or why they're doing this electronic work has nothing to do with taking better care of you. It's dotting T's, crossing I's for the insurance company, for hospital administrators. I don't want to make hospital administrators evil, but I'm just telling you that it isn't about you. You're not getting a benefit. The doctors and nurses aren't getting a benefit from sitting on a computer instead of spending time with you. But they don't have a choice in this current place. Okay, the third, point of breakdown is that primary care has lost its footing. The center of care should be your internal medicine or family doctor. That is absolutely unequivocally where it should be, but it's not anymore. And you might ask yourself why. It's because the primary care doctor is not given the time that they need to fully delve into all the problems. So because everything is condensed into a 10-minute visit, you walk in and you say, well, I have hip pain. And before you know it, you're at the orthopedic surgeon. The next thing is my eyes are dry. Before you know it, you're at the ophthalmologist. My kidneys aren't working. Then you're at the nephrologist. And before you know it, you've got 10 doctors for no reason except that your adequately trained internal medicine or family doctor does not have time to talk to you about why it is. And it has eroded this primary care system, which should be and must be the basis of good health care. So again, some more funny. Primary care office installs people mover. And this is just like an airline belt. You can see a patient up here with this walker moving around. But it gets to feel like that when you're in some primary care offices. It's like next, next, next. Psychic hired to read patients' minds, doctor visit reduced, and then the hospital to employ the empathy people. Okay, so what's wrong with specialty-based medicine? People would say, well, I have a kidney problem or I have a heart problem. I want to see the kidney doctor, the heart problem. That is what I want and what I deserve. Well, what's the problem with that? If this were the paradigm of medicine, then it'd be great. I have a disease, there's a treatment, and then there's cure. But that is not how this looks. And you all know that because what actually happens, and especially as you age and become a geriatric patient, you have multiple diseases, multiple treatments. The cures are kind of overlapping each other, and this results in this. Too many medications, too many doctors, minimal coordination, your quality of life decreases, and you have significant functional impairment, which is really what the goal is. What's the point of having good control of your diabetes if your quality of life is horrible because all your medications are making you lie in bed all the time? There is no point to it. There is no quality of life. The primary care doctor's job, from my perspective, or the geriatrician's job, is to take all of this from what this specialist says or this one and pare it down into a manageable lifestyle for a patient so that they not only live longer, but they do so with excellent quality. And if you don't have that quarterback, that person that's kind of coaching and doing that, then there is a disintegration in your quality of life. There's a lot of fragmentation and depersonalization that takes place in medicine. In my training, I think I started in 2010 with residency. So I graduated from medical school in 2010. And about that time is when Obamacare was coming into effect. And it's not a horrible law. In a lot of ways it is, but I'll give it that it increased coverage. But what has happened is that there are increased transitions of care. Doctors have changed the way they think about medicine as a job instead of a career or a vocation or a passion. And the way they've done that is I sign in at 8 and I sign out at 8 and good luck. After 8, you call 911 or you call and you talk to some other doctor who doesn't know my story, and sorry, that's all I'll do. It's a clock in and a clock out job. I know that being a physician is not a clock in and clock out job. It's impossible. That patient is a person in front of you who you care about, you grow to love, because that is a relationship you develop. And that is not how physicians are trained or how they think about it anymore. And so the transitions in care aren't working. When you go from the hospital to the home to the nursing home, you get a different doctor at each site, and no doctor knows what the last doctor did. And then as a result, you're on 2 different medications that do the same thing, and then you are put on another medication to treat the side effects of the other because nobody is talking to anyone. And it leads to the duplication, the errors, the confusion. The phone trees. I changed pediatricians for this reason. I tried to call my son's pediatrician. I have an 8-month-old son, and I was worried about him. I tried to call him. About 5, pressing 1, pressing 7, pressing 6 minutes later, I get put on hold for 10 minutes, and I think, what is wrong with this? Here I am a physician. I should know how to get into the system and just say, hey, here's my question. It's impossible. Phone trees have been a disaster. And then the doctors are shift works, like I said. So here is the solution that we came up with. So like my partner, this is us, this is Dr. Legrillius, and this is me, and we are Sky Park Preferred Family Care. So this is a solution that when I came out of fellowship, I did a lot of job searching. What do I want to do? How do I want to practice? And really knowing my personality and the way I am, which is a little bit more intense in terms of I want to know everything that's going on. I do not want to clock out at 8. I want to be there when my patient is, transitioning to at any point in their life. That is very important to me, and it's the only way that I can feel passionate about my job. This is what I decided to do. So at our practice, we provide coordinated, detailed, very personal, high-quality primary care through the concierge medicine model. We are very timely. We try to be unhurried and as caring as possible. And this has been sort of the cornerstone of what we are. We work for you. We work for our patients. We do not work for insurance companies. We do not work for a corporation. We don't work for a large healthcare organization. We work only for you. So nobody tells me you can't order that or you can't say that or whatever. We work for you. If it's best for you, that's what we do. You have plenty of time with us. We see you in whatever environment is best for you. So if you're admitted to here, Little Company of Mary or Torrance Memorial, we are your physician there. You are not handed off to a hospitalist. If you need to be in a nursing home here, Torrance Memorial, Lomita Care, we take care of you there. We are your if you come to a point in your care where you can no longer leave the home and you are homebound, we take care of you there. We come to you there. If there is a point in your life where you transition to hospice, we take care of you there. You are taken care of throughout the continuum. You are not passed off to another physician at any point. Oh, and we will come see you in the ER if you need to go to the ER, but we avoid the ER. If you're having symptoms at 2 in the morning, you call us and we see if we can work through it. And if we can't work through it, then you go to the ER and we see you there. We meet you there. Okay, so we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And our patients call us, text us, email us at all those times. And we're essentially always available. When you're in the office, you're always greeted by one of our friendly staff members who knows your name, cares about you, usually knows about your family. We have cookies, we have coffee, we have tea. We try to actually treat you as though you're a human and not just, there to be there. We have same-day appointments. We don't have long waits or a waiting room. We have kind of a living room. So we have a couch and a couple nice chairs. And the point is that you don't spend a lot of time waiting because we want you to be seen and go about your day. When it's necessary, we find the best specialist to care for you, and we work to coordinate their care seamlessly. So a lot of times our specialists are, we find the best doctors, but a lot of times their offices don't work quite as efficiently as ours do, and so we work to coordinate that. So our staff will do the legwork and making sure prior auths are done, or getting the appointment, or that kind of thing. We try to make the process as seamless as possible for you by working with the appropriate subspecialists. So what we really look at it like this. So the patient is in the center, and then we don't see you as a disease or a list of diseases. We recognize that surrounding all of this is many aspects of your life and who you are as a person. And when we make a decision about care for whatever medical illness you have or situation, we take into account all of these aspects of care in order to make the most appropriate decision. So our fees and billing, our fee ranges from as low as $700 based on age and then goes up from there. The fee includes a periodic comprehensive wellness exam that we do within the office. It's usually about a 2-hour visit. We take a look at all of your organ systems. We do a comprehensive history, comprehensive physical. We check your bone density. We check a chest x-ray. We do your hearing. We do your vision. We do your EKG. We do stress tests in the office if necessary. So we do kind of a comprehensive intake annually. If you're a Medicare patient, we can continue to bill Medicare on your behalf for services that will be covered by them. If you're non-Medicare, we are out of network. We don't contract with insurance companies. And then for covered services, we'll continue to bill your insurance if you wish. And then this is why I did this. This is my son, Rowan. He's 8 months old. This is my husband, Ryan. He is obviously the light of my life. But, part of the reason I chose this practice additionally is because I have such a great work-life balance. You may think, how does she get a phone call at 2 in the morning? Well, one, I'm already awake because I have a baby, so no problems there. But two, it's because when my patients call, they feel like my family. I know them. I know exactly what's going on. And it just doesn't bother me. It feels like it seamlessly integrates. And two, every day for lunch, I am at home with my son. I am there to be with him for an hour and a half in the middle of the day. And no other practice could that happen. It's because if I need a half day to see him, I will. Because some days I work Saturdays and some days I work Sundays, and there's this flexibility. And the reason I bring that up is because I'm telling you, physicians don't feel a lot of joy in what they do anymore, and I do, and my partner does. I love my work, and I love it because it is both allows me to treat patients the way that I believe they deserve to be, and also because I get to be with my family. So we max out at 400 patients per physician. So we keep it. So a typical primary care doctor at Kaiser, for example, is 2,500. So that's an average patient load for a busy primary care doctor would be 2,500. So we stop at 400 in order to be able to provide this level of care. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Here, I'll come around.
My question concerns your services in a hospital or nursing home.
Yeah.
How are you looked at by their staff, and will your orders be carried out by the staff?
Absolutely. They love us because they can call us on our cell phone. We're probably the only physicians in this hospital or Torrance Memorial where they don't have to call a paging service and then have the doctor paged and then call back. If they call us, they text us, they say, they know us inside and out. Their respect for us it should be equal to any other physician.
So if I were to be admitted to Little Company, you would write the orders for my care? And
Yep. No one else writes the orders unless I consult them and ask them in, but otherwise I do all the care.
How many patients do you have at the current time?
So in the hospital?
No, on your patient
About
load.
120.
Thank you.
What hospitals are you affiliated with?
Little Company of Mary and Torrance Memorial.
So I assume that you and your partner back each other up, so one's on vacation, the
Yeah.
other's always available?
Yeah, the one's on vacation, the other's always available.
Is there like an initial interview process? I mean, so is it a,
Yeah.
yes, we'll take you, or,
We will take anyone.
okay.
Yeah, we do not cherry pick our patients. If you need us, we need you, we take everyone. No, yeah, and then you have to, if you want us, you are more than welcome, all of you are welcome to come over to the office, meet the staff, see what the office has to offer, spend more one-on-one time with me or with Dr. Lagrilius, my partner, and then, decide if you think it's a good fit for you.
And from your name, I assume you're down off Sky Park Drive?
We
in
are.
Those
Yep.
medical buildings?
Yeah, we're in those lots of medical buildings in Sky Park.
And
Building 7 we're in.
Okay, and if we already have some specialists,
keep
you can
them.
work with them? You don't have
Absolutely.
a set number
No,
or
that's the
certain
best
ones?
part. We use who's best for you. We're not tied to any organization. If the best doctor is here, that's where I refer you. If the best doctor is at UCLA, that's where I refer you. And you keep your own specialist that you feel good about and you feel comfortable with.
Okay, and one thing I got a little confused on, you said you will take up to 400 patients,
Mm-hmm.
and then you said 120. So you have room for like 300
Yeah,
roughly?
I've got room.
280?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
terrific.
For everybody
Room for everybody.
and your family.
I'm done. I'm done with my question.
Okay. The fee covers your availability, so to speak, but all like x-rays, lab tests, pharmacy, all those other things are in addition, right?
Yes, so that's
So-
covered by, if you have Medicare, then Medicare covers those. And your secondary, if you have a secondary
Okay,
to
so
Medicare.
that stays.
Yeah, that
and-
stays the same. You should
Okay.
have, yeah, that stays the same.
Okay.
We don't take HMOs. So
Okay,
if
does
you're-
the Medicare?
Just
was
Medicare
that
straight.
take-
We do
was
not
that
take
payment in
C.
full for you on Medicare? Their reimbursement, or would there
Yeah,
be a?
we whatever they give us, we take. So the thing is, the law is that you cannot charge a patient for something that Medicare covers. So for example, if I'll tell you the truth. So in our office, if you want to pay cash for your labs, it's like $3. That's actually how much it costs. But Medicare, I know, it's crazy, right? But that's the actual cost. That's the problem with insurance, is that they layer on administrative costs because some secretary somewhere is denying it and then accepting it, and it just layers on cost. But the actual price for a complete blood count, or CVC, is $3. So if you wanted to pay cash for that, you could. Anyway, what Medicare says is, I can't say to you, your annual fee includes all labs. They'll say, well, that's not okay because we'll cover labs. So you need to charge us for that. It's counterintuitive, but we want to follow the letter of the law, so we do. So for whatever Medicare will cover, we will bill Medicare. Whatever they reimburse us is whatever they reimburse us. We do not chase after Medicare or insurance companies for them to reimburse us. Our primary source of income, the amount of money we get from Medicare or insurance companies is menial. We want to we want to work for you. So if they pay us, they don't pay us, whatever. I mean, sometimes we get a check from them, sometimes we don't. We dictate all of our notes so that we don't have any computers in our exam rooms. And then if, let's say, I need to order X, Y, and Z for you, in my note, I need to document why I think it's appropriate. And then Medicare will cover it. And we do that because that's good medicine. It's good medicine to say, I'm going to order a CBC, a complete blood count for this patient because she has anemia. That's good medicine, like documenting that. So we do that.
Okay, so say I take your services, I don't have to worry about filing Medicare or my supplement insurance. You do that?
We do that for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thought of another one. Obviously, in your practice, you're a male and a female.
Yeah.
Is it advantageous that a couple break down that way, that I would go to the male doctor and my wife would go to the female?
Well, we both take care of both sexes.
Okay, but you don't specialize in one
No,
sex
we
or the
take,
other.
we take care of both. We specialize in just taking good care of patients, no matter what your gender is. And we have a unisex bathroom if anyone's interested. Yeah, just so you know.
Do you have a transgender?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. We're working on it, yeah. Okay.
Oh, I know, I had another question. With the fee, which starts at 7, is there a cap as to how much you would, a yearly fee would be?
Yes.
Like,
And I don't know,
can
Amy
tell
does
you.
our membership stuff. so-
Basically, if you're 46 and up, the rate is $2,100. And at this time of the year, for that age, it's $1,659 to start in June for the rest of the year. Next month, it goes down to, I believe, like $1,506, around there. And then we have family rates, we have couple rates. You get a $400 discount for being a couple. But it is all based on age. But the 45 and up is the $2,100, and then we kind of break it down as we go, as the months pass.
2,100 per month?
No, for the year, for the calendar year. And that's starting January 1st. That's starting in January,
So a couple now would be 3,800.
at the beginning of the year. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks so much for being here. You were a really engaging crowd. And you have our information if you have any other questions. And again, everybody is welcome to come and meet with us, see the office. We're taking new patients, so we're happy to help whoever needs it. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.